One night in 1546, Michelangelo lit 2 giant bonfires, gathered every drawing, sketch, and cartoon he could find, and threw them into the flames. This sounds like the act of a madman, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Michelangelo was hiding the evidence that to become as skilled as he was, he had had to try. Today, 500 years later, famous people and their PR teams are doing the exact same thing. Early songs vanish from Spotify. Cringy first videos disappear from YouTube. Awkward interviews are buried, sometimes unsuccessfully, which I'll show you later, because they know now what Michelangelo knew then, that hiding the process lets them maintain the illusion that their skill is born and not built, and therefore out of our reach. This is a video about how society is constructed to trick us into not trying, keeping them up there and us down here. But the story of how exactly all begins with one question. If you're going to be great at something, will you be born great?
From the start, Zuckerberg taught himself C++.
I mean, that's kind of the kid he was.
The media hits us over the head with what I call the born great narrative. Effortless talent that seems to come out of nowhere and shoot them straight to the top.
15-year-old Justin Bieber has quickly become a household name.
These stories are real, sure, but they are extremely rare.
Hi, my name is Billie.
Billie Eilish is the first artist born this century to hit #1 in...
Do you know why you're homeschooling?
Because fuck the system.
Billy, you're a you're a genius. I really
Thank you.
Bobby Fischer is an authentic genius.
I'm a grandmaster too.
They're the 0.001%, the outliers.
Is chess a gift? Could a guy who doesn't have a gift for it learn to be a great chess player?
Great? No, he could be good though.
They are the least common path to greatness. Yet these stories are disproportionately shown to us by the media because they're exciting, clean, they get clicks, skewing us to believe it's the most common path to greatness. And when we do hear about people who made it later in life, their stories are often selectively rewritten to downplay the years of hard work, cringe, and failure that actually led to that greatness. This all frames greatness as inaccessible, mysterious, and out of our reach. After all, if you're not born with it, you'll never be truly great, so then why bother?
So right now, I'd like you to meet Tiger Woods and his father, Earl Woods.
When Tiger Woods was 2 years old, he appeared on national TV to demonstrate his golf swing. By the time he was 4, his dad could drop him off at the golf course at 9 a.m. and pick him up at 4 p.m., sometimes with a wad of cash in his tiny hand from any old guy who was dumb enough to bet against him. How you interpret this story depends on what psychologist Carol Dweck calls your implicit theory of intelligence. This is your deep, often subconscious belief about where ability comes from. She found that people fall into 2 camps. Some people have the entity theory of intelligence, meaning they believe that ability is fixed, either you're born with it or you're not. Others have the incremental theory of intelligence, the belief that ability is malleable, something you grow through effort, strategy, and persistence. Which of these beliefs you hold quietly shapes how you move through the world. Whether you see a story like Tiger's as proof of what's possible for you, or proof of what's out of reach for you. I have the perfect example of this. My boyfriend is a very good golfer. At his prime, he had a handicap of 0, or scratch if that means anything to you. When he was younger, he had the chance to go pro and he chose not to. And when I started writing this video, I texted him to ask him why. And he said this: "I didn't think I was good enough. I was very good, but maybe not great." Now, am I saying that he could have been the next Tiger Woods? Not necessarily, but because he saw greatness as something you have or you don't, instead of something that he was able to cultivate, we will never know. I will never be a gag. He didn't believe that effort could close the gap, so luckily for Tiger, he eliminated himself from the competition. The born great narrative had done its job on him. People with an entity mindset might look at Tiger Woods and say, well, he was just born wired differently, a natural. He had greatness from the get-go. But the incremental mindset might see a father who had decided before his son was even born that he was going to be the best golfer in the world. And so Tiger was exposed to thousands of hours of effort, training, and practice, while you were still busy eating dirt and pooping in your pants. Dweck's research found that people who have the entity mindset are less likely to persist after setbacks, avoid challenges, and derive less satisfaction from effort itself. If you look closely, everything in society is built to try and nudge us towards the entity mindset. So am I saying that this is a conspiracy? Well, I don't know, but I will say it's mighty convenient for the 1% if we believe it. If the masses believe that greatness is born, the 1% gets 3 main benefits. First, they get to be seen as magical, mythical, and inaccessible. They get to be admired and worshipped as something scarce and special. Second, they get to have less competition because, as we've seen, would-be competitors self-eliminate. Third, and I will admit this is leaning a little bit into conspiracy territory, but hey, I'll say it anyway. In capitalism, it is much better for the 1% if the 99% believe that greatness isn't available to them, because otherwise, who would work for the 1%? Take that one if you want, leave it if you don't. But there's also a surprising benefit for the 99% to believe the born great narrative too. Philosopher Nietzsche once said, "If we think of genius as something magical, we are not obliged to compare ourselves and find ourselves lacking. To call someone divine means here there is no need to compete." What he meant is if we see greatness as born, we get to excuse ourselves from even trying. The brain is an energy-preserving machine. It's wired to avoid uncertainty and effort and repeated failure because those things are metabolically expensive. So accepting I just wasn't born with it is efficient. It saves energy. So you can see that the born great narrative works for everyone. Media gets views, the 1% gets less competition and stays admired, and the 99% get the relief of knowing they couldn't have done it anyway. It's a twisted mutual incentive loop that keeps people from trying. But then what's the antidote?
You are the one who has led this company to be the world dominant player.
Well, I think a lot of it goes back to those values.
I think Facebook is an online directory for colleges.
To deprogram yourself from the entity mindset, you have to hunt for proof of process. Now, as I said earlier, a lot of the proof has been thrown into digital bonfires, but luckily I've uncovered some from the embers for you. Ben Affleck was cut out of the first movie he ever did because he couldn't nail the one line they gave him.
They had to pay someone to come in and say, "Hey man, take it."
Then there's Post Malone's first song. Lady Gaga performing in an IKEA parking lot. Like Ed Sheeran sharing his first recorded song. And these are just the ones that haven't been burned or buried. Legendary investor Warren Buffett puts his success down to about a dozen truly good decisions. That would be 1 every 5 years. Just 12 good decisions in 60 years. Seeing the process before the greatness nudges us back to the incremental mindset, showing us what's available to us.
I was just a kid who had a lot of time to focus on things that I wanted to focus on, which was kind of part of the homeschooling and the reason that we homeschooled.
Like a lot of people are focused on like taking over the world or doing like the biggest thing, getting the most users. And I mean, I think like part of making a difference and doing something cool is focusing intensely.
32% of Gen Alpha want to be YouTubers. And I think that that's largely because Mr. Beast has made sure his imperfect process to the top has never been hidden, with videos like this.
At the time I'm recording this video, I have 8,000 subscribers and 1.8 million views.
And this.
What's up guys? I'm a little bit short on time today. It's hard to maintain a daily uploading schedule.
What I'm saying is that 99.999% of people who arrive at greatness were not born great. They had to climb what I call Cringe Mountain to get there. And it's time you started climbing too. So this is Cringe Mountain, and this is the land of cool. Everyone who is now great has made this journey up and over the mountain. It is the well-trodden path to success. When you're setting out to learn and grow and improve, you're just gonna have to be cringe at it. You're just gonna have to keep climbing it until you get to the other side. And by the way, if you want some company along your climb, I have a newsletter where I talk about Cringe Mountain and how to become a category of one, so sign up. I'm gonna leave the link in the bio. But also beware of base camp. You can get stuck here for your entire life in the comfort of procrastination, self-doubt, excuses, anything to avoid actually starting the climb. So in a world that's nudging us to believe that ability is fixed, the most radical thing you can do is to try, publicly. Michelangelo famously said, "If people knew how hard I worked to get my mastery, it wouldn't seem so wonderful at all." But I disagree. I think it makes it seem more wonderful because everyone you admire also once stood at the base of Cringe Mountain. The magic isn't in the talent, but in the trying.
Because everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you.